Hi, and welcome to Creative Conversations. I'm your host, Mia Moore, and today I'm delighted to be with our guest, Zoe DeBoer, fashion model and mother. She is a wonderful human being who I had the pleasure of meeting on a fantastic luxury photo shoot not that long ago. So we are going to delve into what inspires Zoe and basically how she keeps her creative juices flowing. So I would like to ask you, Zoe, if you could just introduce yourself, say hello, and give us a very brief understanding of what you do and how long you've been doing it for.
Yes, of course. Hi, Mia. It's lovely to be here with you, to talk to you again. It was a great shoot we did, absolutely. I'm a 52-year-old fashion model. I started modelling when I was about 17 years old. I was accepted on the books of a London agency. I think it was Elite Premier New Faces. I was really interested in modelling, always interested in fashion. It's been a huge anchorage to my whole kind of modelling career, really. Then I went to university. I've always done little bits of modelling here and there, done some great stuff, lovely opportunities. Went to university, did a degree. That was a 4-year course, went away from home. Didn't really think about it too much. I did do quite a lot of student projects and things like that, which were great fun. And then I could have had left uni, had my children, had 3 children, and didn't really think an awful lot more about modelling in my 30s.
Yeah.
Until I got approached by an agent in my late 30s locally who had a model. It was really helpful because it was local. So I could kind of dip a toe in, but I was rather surprised to be approached by her, really. I was like, really? You know? And she's like, no, absolutely, absolutely. So I joined her book and I started working with the Arts University in Bournemouth. So I'm employed on their model bank. And really, I would say my modelling's taken off. It's sort of gone from strength to strength as I've got older, really.
Wow.
Way more opportunities than when I was younger. And I think, you know, there's a lot of younger models. There's loads of them and beautiful. And then the apex tends to narrow as you get older.
Yeah.
So there's so many of us. So, yeah, I do a full spectrum, you know, fashion, editorial, art modelling, hair stuff. I've done a lot of crazy hair stuff. Which I
bet you've got some great stories with that.
Yes, I've had blue hair, navy blue hair, and then it had to go grey. So I did Graduate Fashion Week and they wanted me to look older. So this was when my hair was short. I've had it short, I've had it long, I've had it black, I've had it bobbed, I've had it every which way.
Wow.
Which I like to do that. I like to change things up. And I think that forms part of a really crucial part of the creative process for me, to be open and resilient to change, you know, creative change.
Yeah. And I think it's essential, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's you have to be open. You have to take these jobs and these opportunities with open arms, because like you say, that category of models, as you get older, as you very kindly put it, like the apex closes, you have to be prepared to step out of your comfort zone and do things that are perhaps quite out of the ordinary. I mean, do you have any particular interesting stories about going out of your comfort zone and having to get creative in a way that you weren't expecting? Or I'd love to hear.
I guess things are always discussed. I have a very, very good photographer friend. She's a very good fashion photographer and we get on very, very well. We call each other soul sisters because we kind of are. Our birthdays are, we're a couple of years. I think she's a year or so older than me, something like that. But we get on really well. We met on a commercial shoot, but she's local to me anyway. And she does push. I mean, I'm quite crazy and I like quirky, conceptual fashion. The quirkier, the better for me. So that's not really a problem. But she's kind of level up on me, I would say.
Wow.
So she, you know, I've worn leaves as clothes and we've done all sorts of, you know, had face coverings and she likes very quirky poses and I love all of that as well. So, you know, my husband vegetables and we literally raided the garden and picked vegetables, this part of this vegan shoot, and we incorporated a graduate collection into that shoot. And it got published in, so that was really good.
Wow.
But we got like these baby carrots and we made them into heels on shoes. Now, I think that way. She thinks that way. But that's
I love it.
You know, in heaven. I absolutely love it. And she's a single lady. She doesn't have children. So when we get together, we talk creative. We go down rabbit holes. And we're not talking about and things like that, which I really like. You know, that's my life is a pie, right? And I've got all these different parts of it. And I have very acute responsibilities. But in the same way, you know, there's another bit that's a creative part, family part, you know, and it kind of works like that. So it's nice to be able to compartmentalize a little bit, really.
Definitely. And I think it's really important as well for like mental health as well, to be able to compartmentalize. Otherwise it can all become very clouded and blend into one, and then you become either just mum or just work mode. And I'm quite guilty of that sometimes. Sometimes, I think sometimes like society kind of blends you that way as well, without even being able to have much choice over it.
I think so. And I think as a woman as well, we have to be very flexible in our approach to work, because we do take time out for that caring responsibility. And there's no going back on that. So you're losing time. So you have to be able to kind of diverse, be flexible, kind of think about how you're going to juggle it all.
Exactly.
And that's not an easy thing to do, not at all. You know, I have a disabled daughter, so she has taken up the bulk of my, you know, parenting life and will do onward. I mean, she's 25 now and leaving education, and I've fought tooth and nail for everything that she's needed. I've really, and no exaggeration, to a point of almost post-traumatic, dealing with local authority, getting the help that she needs, from respite to education, because nothing is a given. And I've had to get my head around the law and things like that. So a massive part of my time has been spent as a mother doing that. So work really had to burn up. But as things are easing and she's moving through, and the local authority don't mess me around anymore, because they know. Again.
Hi.
Everything she needs, and we're doing good because of it. You know, it kind of works. But things are easy. You know, my children are getting older, so I have got more flexibility. And it's really, like you say, mental health, well-being, fundamental, absolutely fundamental. The creative side is the kind of, you know, breath of life for me, really. Yeah,
it's. I don't know if you feel the same. It's kind of, it's that de-stress. It's that exhale, being able to. It's like at the end of like a stressful day, you go, oh, now I can let all my thoughts out and be creative. And I think being in an environment around lots of people, whether it's a commercial shoot or just a busy styling event, such as the shoot that we met on, it was people everywhere. It was all go, and it's an amazing atmosphere. It's like a hive of activity.
It's never, to me, work is never a stress. I sometimes find the preparation is when you've got that blank piece of paper and it's like you get I want to do a shoot with you. I'm like, okay, we need to start. We need an angle. I need a hook. We need a hook. What are you thinking? What's your ideas? What are you hoping to, you know, achieve? How do you want to translate? Because I need that sort of starting point. And then other times you might get a photographer, you know, that they just want to do a shoot with you. It's different. It depends if you know the photographer or not as well. You know their style. But I love a mood.
Oh, they're just whoever invented a mood board has got it completely correct. It's so good.
You really do need that, because then I can jump right on in there. You know, I can jump on it and I'm off. But I'm very much a Libra in the sense that when I get first approached with a situation, my scales go, oh, I'm not really sure. On here.
Yeah, and then it's all a bit chaotic.
I don't know what we're going to wear, what we're going to do, and where we're going to do it. And then it kind of levels out, and I'm a massive reflector. And then it's like, oh, that would work. Oh, that would work. And then it just kind of like slots into place, because we have to do styling, we have to do makeup, we have to be able to do all these skills. One thing I don't have to do, which I'm grateful for, is photography.
Yes. Which is the biggest win I think we can take from modelling.
Oh, it's so technical. I have no clue. I've done so many photography courses as a model and just I have no idea.
In one ear.
So good lighting when I And that's about it.
So going back to like the mood board theme, what gets you into an inspired mood? What makes you feel creative?
High fashion. So
Okay.
A lot of what I end up going down rabbit holes of is high fashion. I'm really inspired by that. So obviously Instagram is a massive source. I love makeup. I'm a makeup magpie, so colours don't scare me.
Yeah.
Styling doesn't scare me. So I've always been able to kind of tap into trends. I'm quite interested in trend forecasting and things.
Yeah.
The colour trends, styling, proportion, all those sorts of things are really, really crucial for me. So the research, the high fashion, the conceptual designs, whether that's obviously, you know, the very expensive brands, top the apex again, or whether it's, you know, students, graduates, small businesses. I love small designers.
Yes.
So working with them is really, really exciting for me because they're fresh. They're not even relying on the broader trend forecast that some of these big
it's very personal.
It's very personal, and I absolutely love that. I really do get a lot of inspiration from that. So that's kind of where I start. So I will try and then kind of work with that to produce my own, you know,
have that as like the groundworks. Yeah,
the groundwork. And then it's like, well, where do we stand on this? But in the same way, I absolutely love vintage clothes. So they to me are just beautiful in their own right. They don't have it. I'm not into trend, although I'm saying like trend forecasting as a broad base, because it does tend to reflect the zeitgeist. It reflects what's going on, the mood of things, which is a really nice thing to work with. But in the same way, vintage clothes are there, they just stand alone. So there is no trend per se. You can just kind of like adopt the era.
Exactly. They're timeless, and it brings out a character in you that perhaps wore it before you. And it's then almost like an element of acting within it as well. Because you take on like a new persona.
And that's modelling anyway, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
It is a form of acting. It is definitely acting. And I'm noticing a lot with modelling now, it's kind of tipping into the influence a lot, isn't it, as well?
Very much so. You and it feels as though creativity is less prominent.
We've got a lot to deal with, haven't we? You know, with AI coming in and things like that.
Yeah.
So I like to try and work with and hope that human creativity will always be embraced. But it's very easy to do things.
Definitely. To type it into a computer and suddenly you've got a computer-generated collection that a graduate would have spent 3 years doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to know where that's going to go at the moment, really.
Yeah,
but
and
nonetheless,
it's a bit of grey area, isn't it, I think, with not knowing where we stand. How can we override it? Which, whether we can, I don't know, because it's so big and everyone's using it.
Just hope that humans like to connect, so we will all just still connect with it. Photographers will want to photograph people, and we will want to be models, and I just hope that clothes need to be worn by people. That we are social beings at the end of the day, so let's hope that we can find a way for it all to sort of work with, rather than, again.
Definitely.
So I don't know. We'll just have to see on that one, won't we? Watch this space.
Time will tell. Another thing I would like to kind of go back to, we delved into slightly about like the acting and the persona side of things. How would you say your process of putting on a garment that you've been styled in for a shoot, how do you feel when you're put into a persona of somebody else or a theme or whatever that designer is trying to portray? How do you make that come alive?
Well, I actually find it really comfortable and cathartic, because I think ultimately modelling enables me to not really be myself.
Yes.
I love having that sort of veneer.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for me to come alive and to represent the brand, the design, to really give it full vigor, because it's like magic for me, putting on clothing, however crazy. And some of it is really, I have worn, especially graduate collections, you know, they're very conceptual. They're anchored in a concept, whether it's, you know, skyscrapers or my grandmother's allotment. There's a lot going on there. You know, I've worn things with strawberry sun, and I love it. I want to be that blank canvas, because to me it's like art. So it's a massive privilege to be able to put on these clothes that people have put their heart and soul into, which is why I particularly love doing, you know, the one-offs and the small businesses and the small conceptual designers, because they put everything into them. And the clothes are so beautifully made. And I do think as you get older, you need clothes that are beautifully made to really, you know, make you feel amazing. So I don't know. It's just it's like you go from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and you can just feel that process from the moment your makeup starts to go on to your hair being done, and then finally putting on the garments. You do have that little Cinderella moment, I think, really.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to have a bit of background before I go in. So you know who the designer is, you know who the target is, and you know where they're coming from, because that enables you to project the right ambience to the whole mood of the shoot or whatever that you're doing. And, you know, whole process.
Something that really stood out to me when I first met you was your ability to listen and run with the concept of the shoot. So I can remember we had a briefing prior to starting the shoot about what everybody was trying to achieve and the kind of look and what the final outcome would be. And I can remember watching you, because you're like a huge inspiration and you're wonderful. And I think like a mentor for younger models. And I was thinking, how can I channel more Zoe? And I was watching you. And I think you mentioned at one point that this was obviously for a red carpet, so posing is going to be different. It's not going to be high fashion posing. It's going to be like quite gentle. You are as a statue, so to say. You're being poised rather than wearing the clothes. You are there presenting yourself. It was less about showing off the garments in a fashion like angles, you know. And I think you encapsulated that role so perfectly. It was really, really inspiring, and I've tried to take that on board since then at different shoots.
Oh, wow.
And look at the brief beforehand, because again, the person who's created it has put a lot of time and effort into that process, and you have to be able to hit the nail on the head. And
you do, and I think that comes with a love of doing what you do as well, because I think that really translates, because sometimes I've seen models show up, and I've worked with models who have been so grumpy.
Yeah.
Not many, not often, but sometimes, and they want to criticize everything rather than work with. And I tend to feel that it's really, really important to go with a work with attitude at the end of the day. This is not I'm not in control of this. Yeah. But in the same way, I think you can speak up. If I don't think, it's like, well, that or that or that, and I'll go, well, not that, because I don't think that's going to work on me. Sequins are really aging, not going to work. I don't like that. Or the fit of it, whatever. Is knowing yourself what suits you, because I know I can look absolutely horrific, or I can look amazing, depending on what I'm wearing. And that's not, you know, a different person in the same thing would look incredible. So it is knowing yourself as well, and having the confidence to sort of say, well, maybe that might be better on me than that.
Exactly.
It's having that confidence that you're doing it objectively as well.
Yeah, and I think actually when you're on a team with like younger generations, perhaps graduates that are learning the industry, I think they really appreciate some creative criticism. I know that when I was starting out as a makeup artist at college, I actually really valued people being honest, and I would always ask the model, what would you like me to change, and please tell me, because you could then evolve and you can learn from it. And I think as a model, it's really important, because whoever's styling or doing the makeup can take that further and then develop, and they've taken another skill.
That is the sign of a good makeup artist to me, somebody that will work with, because I am quite honest, only because I want it to be the best possible job and outcome
for everyone.
At the end of the day. And I've been doing my makeup for years, and I absolutely love having my makeup done by somebody else. It's a real treat. But there are certain aspects that yourself, like, I've got a little mark there, or that might need some coverage, or I tend to do this with my eyes because they're this shape, and it's just, and as you age as well, you do have to change your makeup, you change it up. So it's really important to be able to do that. And if somebody's receptive rather than defensive, it's amazing, because it's a team. It's always a team, as far as I and it's never one person. Just because you look good in that photo, you've had a whole team behind you making sure that and that reflects totally.
Definitely.
You've got to be able to be a team player.
Yeah, I think that's almost first before modelling and any skill within anything else.
Yeah,
definitely.
Totally. A good model has to be able to work with a team, has to be able to take direction and criticism. I love having direction when I'm being photographed. There's nothing worse. My pet hate is when a photographer just snaps, and I actually just stop, because I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know I feel like a rabbit in the headlights. It's absolute pet hate.
Yeah.
So we just stopped. It was like, okay, can we just draw a breath?
Yeah.
What do you want? Because I don't know. Because I feel as a model, you're very disabled, because you have no idea how that image is going to look. And sometimes it's really handy to have a quick look at the camera to see how the image looks. And okay, you're taking it, that works, And sometimes doing really weird things. Yeah, it actually works. But you think it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
you're like, and you really have to try and look and think, maybe it's got some potential somewhere.
Or maybe it doesn't in this instance.
Yes, and we will, and I'm going to politely persuade you. Yeah.
And that's
it. Yeah, and I think if it's politely and eloquently done, it's very welcomed in that situation. I know that
100%.
If I was unhappy with perhaps a dress that I was styled in, I may make a suggestion. Is there a possibility that we could perhaps cinch in the back or clip in something?
Bolt
and I will style exactly, and I will work.
We've all had that, the bulldog clips.
Absolutely, yeah, all the way down the back, having to strategically pose.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a necessary thing, because you want the image. All I care about is, at the end of the day, that image, the footage is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you just do your best. You have to be able to take on what's being said to you, because you are like a rabbit in the headlights sometimes. You're just there, and there's lots of people around you. You need to be able to do your thing efficiently.
Exactly.
Creatively.
Like you say,
to get it.
Be receptive to that. Something else I wanted to ask you was, I know you're very keen and interested in fitness and a healthy lifestyle. And how do you find that impacts your day-to-day life?
Interesting, really interesting. It's been a very, very important part of my life, and really, I think, has enabled me fundamentally to be able to do modelling. I don't think I would be able to do it as well as I've been able to do, because it's not only how you look, it's how you feel, and it's also your ability, your physical ability. Because let's not, at the end of the day, modelling is really hard work. I defy anybody that says it's just, you just show up, and it's not physically demanding. And doing things in heels and balancing is an absolute challenge in itself. And I want to be able to do crazy poses and be able to do that. So doing yoga really helps. I do weights. I do cardio. I'm a black belt in karate. Wow. I love ballet as well. And I have to carve out that time every day. I used to go to the gym, but I stopped doing that. I realised I was spending half my time getting there, getting back and parking. I'm
Yeah.
lucky that I've got a big kitchen. I have my
No.
own kettlebells. There's one right behind me. So I have my own kit and I just do
Brilliant.
everything from home. So literally,
That's
I've already
excellent.
done my workout this morning. So it was a half an hour, some are half an hour, some are 40 minutes. If I can't do a workout, I can't do it. But generally, I would say I probably work out 5 times a week.
Wow.
And I do it in the morning. I might do some yoga in the evening because I love yoga in the evening because I'm just more relaxed, more loose in my body.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's just trained me so much to be, it's trained me mentally to appreciate myself for all the right reasons.
I bet.
To sort of lose the ego, actually, and to just be nice to myself and to not judge myself and to know that failure means that when I'm really struggling with something, I'm pushing it and I'm going to get strong because of
That's
that.
a really good
And
point.
I think it translates into wider life. So it builds resilience in a way. And it does really help me. I don't feel my day's complete until I've done my workout.
Yeah.
And I'm really
Wow.
balanced about it. So, yeah, I am a little bit sort of strict about it. But in the same way, I don't berate myself if for whatever reason I can't do it. So I'm going away this weekend and I'm not going to do my workout. And that's fine. I'll
Yeah.
get back to it on Monday and it won't make a great deal of difference. But, you know, it's just how you talk to yourself. It's helped
Exactly.
me to talk to myself
Yeah.
in a
And
better
being
way.
kind
So, yeah, it's
and
fundamental.
giving grace.
Yes,
really,
because
isn't
it
to
starts with
yourself?
self, right?
Absolutely.
I can't be nice to everybody else and fair to everybody else unless I'm fair to myself.
Exactly.
And that is really important. We do have to be fair. We sometimes have to say
Yeah.
no as well. And that's really important too.
That's it. And
especially as a model.
yes, it's putting up those boundaries that are so detrimental if they're
Yes.
not listened to and not followed. It's, yeah, funny territory.
And I think, you know, thinking about sort of the younger generation starting modeling, they're very, very keen to please and they're very
Yeah.
keen to sort of be acknowledged as a model and may actually put themselves in a position of compromise. And that does concern me. And that's something that I would be really, really, really wanting to communicate to them, that if you've got it, you don't really need to kind of fall too far outside of who you actually
Yes.
are in order to
Yeah.
achieve that. I think that's really important. You can end up in dangerous territory, I think.
Yeah, and people
So-
will love you for you and they will fall in love
We're all
with your
different.
work. Exactly.
Exactly. There's no other Mia's, there's no other Zoe's. And that's the thing about modelling. That's why you should never take rejection personally, because we are all so different. We all have different
Exactly that.
attributes and
Yeah.
present differently, and we have different proportions and we have different strengths. So that's why, for me, it's really important to have my community of model friends, because we are so different. You know, they might want to model with short hair, or they might want to model with dark hair, or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's never an issue at the end of the day. You just have to know that the people that choose you have chosen you for you. You know, there's no other Mia's, there's no other Zoe,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I like. That's what I absolutely love. And it's a really interesting part of the job in a way, because
Definitely.
you can be quite authentically yourself, really.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing in that sense.
Yes.
As an opposite, I'd like to ask you, what scares you the most as a creative person?
Well, I think we touched a little bit earlier on the AI. It doesn't.
Yes.
I like to work with, but by the same token, I think we've said we're already on grey territory.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anything scares me about creativity, because it is nebulous in a way. It's
Yes.
something that we just, it's there, and we can choose to park things that we're not comfortable with or we don't like,
Yeah.
and then we can develop areas that we do like. And I think sometimes going to dark places can enable creativity as well.
I completely agree. Yeah.
You know, so whether it's a mood or a moment or something happening, or, you know, it's always a learning opportunity, I think, at the end of the day. And that's what creativity is. At the end of the day, it's problem solving, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to be
Yeah.
creative is a problem. You know, people who are creative tend to be good at solving problems. And one of my mottos in life is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
So you have to kind of like, I've literally screwed nails into the wood with my hands. I need these lines up, and I've kind of found a way. And I think women are really good at that, to be completely honest.
Yeah, well, we have to be. Yeah.
We have to be flexible, because we're dealing with children and jobs and relationships and things like that. So I don't think I don't think there's anything about modelling or creativity that really scares me. I think because I'm in control. So if I'm not happy, I just walk away. It's no problem. And sometimes I do grill photographers a little bit because I want, especially new ones, they approach me because I want to know that all our expectations are managed. Yeah. In terms of what that outcome would be. I have strict levels, and that's my personal, preference. So I make sure I stick with that, at the end of the day.
And again, it's that boundary keeping, isn't it?
I'd rather put them off. I'd rather say, okay, this is absolutely how it is. If you're still wanting to work with me, that's great, because I know that your portfolio is maybe slightly outside of what I would do, but then equally in the same way, you don't necessarily always do that style of photography. You might be interested in branching into something else. So that's cool as well, as long as you know that I'm probably not going to do that. So if you're happy to work with me on a fashion level.
Very good point.
So that's how I would really encourage young people to be as well, to maintain their integrity and make sure that they're really clear on that. Because as we said, if you're liked and if you've got, because I think anyone can do modelling as long as they have the right attitude and confidence in a way, anyone can do it. Why not, but just hold your integrity and don't be compromised, because it's a slippery slope, I think.
Most definitely. And I think, especially for the younger generation who are quite easily swayed by social media or by older generations in person, it can be quite dangerous territory. And especially, I think, as a parent, that only becomes more obvious as you're a guardian for your children. And then you can see the bigger picture and perhaps the almost scary side of the industry. But I think...
I totally...
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, I just think as well with social media, we're exposed to so many extremes as well. Yeah. So you do feel that you've got to sort of push it to the next level. And I think older models are also vulnerable to that as well, because you want to still feel that you are able to be, attractive and capable in the same way, because youth is so revered, and and I understand why. But I'm very much of the opinion I've never felt happier than I am now. Wow. Each decade that passes, you never want to go back.
No.
You're always sort of happy where you are. So you never have that. And as I've gone through, and you have your children, and that was, it's a busy time, and you're finding yourself who you are as a human, in space and time and within all the different contexts that we live. Yeah. And I've got to the age now where I kind of feel totally comfortable in who I am and my skin, and I can really choose good people as my friends. This is who I don't have to try hard. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to prove anything to me. And I think you finally become the person that you always were at this kind of age, in a way. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. Yeah. So you've learned and you've accrued all this knowledge and things like that, and you do become, I mean, everyone's judgmental, but you become less judgmental and just a little bit more free flow in life.
Definitely.
Because I don't feel I need to compete or be better or anything else. Because like we said, we're all individuals. We're all who we are. And I'm never going to be Pamela Anderson or whoever else. And that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Gary does make a point. But
it's only the little things,
Yeah, exactly.
Or the not so little things.
The not so little things, not so big things, actually. So it's just So in a way, I that's why I think it's great. I feel absolutely privileged, and I don't reference age too much because I find it really dull. I don't want to hear, oh, you're really gush your age. Oh,
Yeah, and you think, what does that mean?
For my age, I'm Yeah, I had one birthday. I loved Madonna's quote, "I am no age, I am every age." I
Yeah,
love that. That
that is
really
brilliant.
resonates with me.
Yeah.
And I think she gets a lot of flack, and I think she's amazing. If anyone is the epitome of creativity, it's her. And reinvention. Oh, I love it. Just that whole,
Is she quite an inspiration for you?
Totally. Yeah, I grew up with her.
Wow.
Her songs, and, I love music. I absolutely love music, and I love popular music as well. So music, again, does provide an immense source of creativity, and I always have to think carefully. I love doing posts. I probably love making the posts more than I do actually posting the posts on Instagram.
Yes,
Once I've done them, they're gone. But I love it. It's like, what story am I going to make? I think I'm an editorial girl at heart. So fashion has a story for me. So that's very much a creative, anchorage and sort of fashion and stories. So I try and I turn my posts into stories, and that's just what I do. And it might not be the most popular thing for the algorithm on Instagram, but I kind of don't really care about that too much.
Exactly. And it's what you're outputting that's stuck up in your head that you can't get out in any other which way. But it's also engaging. It's engaging for the people that follow you, which I think only then forms an even stronger connection. I know that I can watch your stories and I can understand how you're feeling, or I get a great vibe from the music you've put on, and watching you busy and active, and it's inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I just love it. It's a very, very important part of who I am, really. That whole creativity, and actually not taking myself too seriously as well. Yeah. Maybe I hide behind that a little bit, but I do like see the funny side of life, and I like to have a laugh. I like people that can make me grin.
Yeah.
And I like to be able to make people. Yeah, it really
you do it every day, Zoe. You make us grin every day.
Yeah, no, and I have got more like that as I've got older. I was much more serious. I was the most serious child you could ever have. My school reports always say, Zoe is a very serious little girl. And I was just like terrified, like totally out of control in life. And now I feel I've got a little bit more control of who I am and everything. And I think having a disabled daughter, that took a lot of control from me. I was always able to do my schoolwork, pass an exam, and now suddenly I was in this situation I couldn't control. I couldn't just make everything normal and right. And she has profound needs, one-to-one support, complex needs. So that really took me into another realm. But we're kind of, we've worked through. I'm very lucky. I have a very amazing husband, really supportive husband. And it's actually glued us together. The fights with externals, we just came together, and he kind of pushed me to be really rebellious. I'm a kind of rebel with a cause, right? If I see something as unjust, I just will not let it go. I've never lost a battle with a local authority.
Wow.
And I help other people to fight as well, and to give them the confidence to say, you can say no. They are trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
And it's being that advocate, I think. Because, like you say, local authorities will try to push you off, try to persuade
it's
you
money
to do
at the end of the day.
Exactly. So it's knowing your rights, it's knowing where you stand, and it's having an advocate, I think, whether that's for yourself.
Totally. And I do have really thrived on that as well. I have although I've not enjoyed it, and it's not right what I've had to do, by the same token, Grace has now finished her education in the most amazing place. And I feel like I've written letter of complaint, got in local councillors, MPs. I've worked on lobby groups for carers and all sorts of things. And I think when she leaves education, I'm going to write to the local authority and thank them for the amazing education that she's had, and thank them for allowing me to win.
Thanks for that big tick.
yeah. Because you've got to do it. And I know it is hard for people. I know we're very conditioned to kind of accept the word of authority.
Oh, whereas
I'm just like, oh, sorry, what? No. You want to start charging her more for this, that, and the other, and you want to backbeat it to a pre-existed period? No. Yeah. So no. So I just challenge them, and it's cathartic to be able to do that.
I bet it is. To be honest. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And to help other people as well. And
exactly.
So I've got a friend that's going through it. Can you help them out with their legal stuff with their education. Crikey, I've got all the books. I've had to be a legal
come to.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got any friends, I like to help people's real. I think it's us against the system at the end of the day.
Exactly
Power is really important. We are a collective and we have massive power. If only people realise as a collective, there's more of us than there are of them.
Exactly.
And we have to really keep an eye on our, democracy always has to be fought for. It's never a given. It's never a done deal. So it's driving forward always. So that's the other side of me. That's the kind of, the lobbying and the justice. And I love it. But having Grace has brought that out, it really has.
I think stepping into motherhood and parenthood is just quite exceptional, really.
It is. It changes you. It defines you. And definitely. I think for the better, really. Grace has been like a teacher for me. She's brought out so much in me that I didn't know was there. And my husband as well, as I say, he's really, really great at being a rebel with a cause. So we've worked very much as a team. Yeah. And I had my daughter Kitty, she's a dancer, but she had an accident. So we had to go to court with that because it wasn't her fault. So we've just had lots of battles to fight together. And so the modelling is like a bit of
exactly, like we said earlier, it's that exhale, it's that breath of
balance, right? Everything in balance.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wanted to finish up on quite a light-hearted, interesting question. So I'm going to ask you, if you could do any other job other than be a model, what would you be and why?
I might be a DJ.
A DJ? I don't think
if I could choose any job, it just would not be anything other than creative. I love creative jobs. I've thought about being a fashion designer, but they have to work far too hard. I've seen fashion students, honestly, there's not enough hours of the day. And I would just end up not eating. Your whole life is consumed by research. And, I've seen them. They're the hardest working degree students. I've worked with them for many years and they are so hard. I'd love to do it, but I'd want to go, could someone make that now, please? That's what I could design it. But could you make it? Because I don't. Exactly. In the same way, interior design would be amazing, but then you've got to be there with a hammer, and I'm like, no, I don't think I can do that. Yeah. So it would be something like thing. Yeah. Or I would love to, be a DJ or something, get into music, because I love that kind of music.
Say you couldn't.
Well, I know. Well, Mark, my husband's done it, so but I think he's got a more electronic mixing desk now, but he had the records and all that sort of thing.
I love it.
When we were growing up. Because I'm a 90s, I grew up in the 90s, so I went to some of those illegal raves and things like that.
All that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. Yeah, it was great. It was really good. No mobile phones. Here she goes again.
Yeah. I think that can stifle a lot of creativity, can't it? Having the phones and the social media there all the time. It's about living in the moment, I think. And
I think it can make us very self-absorbed rather than
most
projecting.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I'm probably guilty of that. Yeah. I'm sure I'm guilty of that as well. Recording everything and it is part of modelling in a way, because you are projecting yourself, and I want to show as much range as well.
Exactly.
What I can do. I don't really want to be too compartmentalised. I like to be able to do conceptual stuff, the boho stuff, or the more, freaky stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Gothic stuff, whatever. You just do it all.
Okay, so you've just inspired me for one last question, if you can spare the time. If you could come up with any concept for a shoot, if you could model any style, garment or genre, what would it be that you haven't done before? Good question, huh?
Well, I absolutely love British fashion designers. I don't think you can beat them.
Yeah.
So McQueen and Westwood are incredible. Mary Quant. I mean, I would love to do it at Vivienne Westwood. Tartan. I love tartan. Punk, tartan. something like that would be incredible. But, you know, ball gowns, tartan ball
Yes.
gowns, maybe, something like that. And I kind of like the biker boots and things. They're feminine, but I like to balance it with masculine and that edgy look. I don't like too much of a pretty look. In fact, I'm trying to look for an evening dress for an event I'm going to, and I'm struggling so much.
Really?
Yeah. I've actually gone with a small designer. She's making me a dress, and I know that I'll be able to wear that dress with biker boots or trainers and go to a festival as well.
Amazing.
So watch this.
Well, that's the trick. I can't wait to see that.
We'll see.
I look forward to it. And where can we find you on social media, Zoe? How can our listeners find you?
Well, I have an Instagram account, which is at z.deboer. And I also have a Purple Port account as well.
Wonderful.
But most of my modelling work I do through Instagram.
Excellent.
Find me bobbling around.
With very good music, always.
With very good music. Come to me for the music.
Exactly.
All here for it. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Zoe. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It's been wonderful.
Been a joy. Oh, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for
Hope to
enlightening
see you again
us.
soon.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to our guest, Zoe DeBoer, for coming on to the Creative Conversations podcast. It was an absolute delight to speak with her and hear about her creative process, the challenges within that, and what could be determining the future of creativity within AI and all that stuff. So I was your host, Mia Moore, and hopefully we will see you very soon. Thank you. Creative Conversations was hosted by Mia Moore. It was recorded at Granary Studios, audio production by Granary Digital. Additional production support and editing by James Jones. For more information, visit our website at granary.digital. To contact the show, email podcast@granary.digital. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on social media.